What if your basic biological structure has remained virtually unchanged for the past 100,000 years? Yet between your ancestors and you, there's a difference as vast as heaven and earth? What anthropologists discovered was astonishing. Our fundamental biological structure, the hardware, is nearly identical to our ancestors from 100,000 years ago. Yet our capabilities have evolved beyond comparison. So what transformed us? The answer isn't genes. It's culture. Today, let's explore the relationship between cultural evolution and genetic evolution, and uncover what truly makes us human. By the time you finish this video, you'll understand yourself as a product of both genes and culture through an entirely new lens. Chapter 1. The Force Beyond Genes. Let's start with something familiar. The language you speak, the tools you use, the values you hold. All of these were learned from someone else. So how does this information spread? Does it pass across generations like genes? In 1976, evolutionary biologist Richard Dawkins introduced a revolutionary concept in the selfish gene. The meme, a unit of cultural information that replicates and transmits like a gene. Songs, ideas, fashion, technology, these are all memes. And culture can be treated evolutionarily. It changes, spreads, persists. Though, unlike genetic evolution, it involves horizontal transmission and intentional modification. Today, rather than the term meme, research has shifted toward cultural evolution and dual inheritance theory, using experiments, historical data, and computational models to verify how culture spreads. But here's the crucial difference. Culture changes far faster than genes. And here's where a crucial question emerges. If culture changes this rapidly, what determines our behavior, genes or culture? The answer is both. But the balance tilts more toward culture than we realize. In other words, to understand humans, genes alone are insufficient. We must understand culture, the other engine of evolution. But how does culture function? Let's examine the specific mechanisms by which culture has expanded our capabilities. Chapter 2. The Accumulation of Knowledge. Culture's most powerful feature is its cumulative nature. Each generation adds new discoveries to the knowledge of the previous one. This is called cumulative culture, and this capacity is what decisively separates humans from other animals. Consider chimpanzees, for instance. They use tools, too. Sticks to fish for termites, stones to crack nuts. But their tools tend to persist regionally over long periods, with less cumulative improvement than humans. Each generation often repeats roughly the same techniques as the previous one. Humans are different. In humans, there's a ratchet effect, a mechanism where improvements don't easily regress. Through high-fidelity imitation and teaching, technology accumulates across generations, and we pass it to the next generation. Recent research has found the seeds of culture in other animals, but nothing approaching the limitless accumulation seen in humans. This accumulation generates exponential growth. 10,000 years ago, we used stone tools. Today, we travel to space. So why do only humans possess such advanced cumulative culture? The key is language. Language can transmit abstract concepts with precision. Not just, this stone is sharp, but if you strike at this angle, it becomes sharper. This precision enabled the accumulation of knowledge. Let's think about what this means. Without language, we'd still be in the Stone Age. Language is the technology that made us human. But language alone isn't enough. There's another crucial element: social learning. We observe others, imitate them, learn from them. No need for trial and error on our own. This saves enormous amounts of time and energy, and allows us to accumulate knowledge faster and in greater quantity. Think about this for a moment. What if you had to invent fire making from scratch? But you learned it from someone. This is the power of cumulative culture. We stand on the shoulders of giants. In other words, human intelligence doesn't reside solely in individual brains. It exists in the collective accumulation of knowledge across generations. So how has this power of culture transformed our own genes? Now let's venture into even more remarkable discoveries. Chapter 3, Gene Culture Coevolution. So far, I've discussed how culture changes faster than genes. But the story doesn't end there. Culture also influences genetic evolution. This is called gene culture coevolution. So how does it happen? The most famous example is lactose tolerance. Around 10,000 years ago, humans began practicing animal husbandry. This was a cultural change, but adults at that time couldn't digest milk. The enzyme that breaks down lactose stopped functioning after childhood. Yet mutations were selected within pastoral cultures. Those who could drink milk had a significant advantage. More nutrition meant higher survival rates, and their genes were passed more frequently to the next generation. With the expansion of pastoralism and milk use, regulatory mutations near the LCT gene for lactose tolerance underwent strong selection in parts of Europe and East Africa, becoming highly frequent. This was exceptionally rapid in evolutionary terms. Recent ancient DNA studies reveal regional time lags between the start of pastoralism and the rise of lactose tolerance. The factors driving its spread were likely complex, not just nutrition, but also infectious disease and famine. In other words, a cultural practice, pastoralism, drove genetic evolution, lactose tolerance. Let's think about this from an ethical perspective. If culture changes our genes, can we control our own evolution? And is that desirable? For instance, changes in medicine, contraception, and childbirth practices can alter selection pressures, who is more likely to have children. Culture indirectly shifts the conditions of evolution. There are other examples. Cooking increased the energy available from food, potentially affecting our bodies and life history. Its relationship to brain expansion is debated as one factor among many, including increased meat consumption and sociality. Language ability involves numerous genes and brain functions. Genes like FOXP2, known to be involved in speech, have been identified, but how language as culture connected with genetic evolution cannot be simply determined. Related to increased starch consumption, variations in salivary amylase gene copy number, like AMY1, may differ between populations. However, estimates and causation remain under investigation. And here's where a crucial question emerges. If culture changes genes, how are we continuing to change right now? How will modern culture, technology, and lifestyles shape the genes of future humanity? The answer remains unknown, but change is certainly occurring. In other words, we are products of our genes and simultaneously products of our culture. And that culture continues to change our genes. This is an endless interaction. So what does this understanding teach us? Let's organize the insights gained from today's exploration. Chapter 4, The World Revealed. Now, today we've deeply explored the relationship between cultural and genetic evolution. What we've witnessed is the duality of human existence. We are biological beings and cultural beings simultaneously, and these two have influenced each other, shaping who we are. Let me share the world that has been revealed through today's exploration. First, culture changes far more rapidly than genes. Cultural information is transmitted across generations and evolves, and its speed is incomparably faster than genetic evolution. Entire societies can transform within decades or a few generations. This enables the rapid transformation of human society. Second, cumulative culture is what decisively distinguishes humans from other animals. We inherit, improve, and expand the knowledge of previous generations. This accumulation generates exponential growth. Language and social learning support this capacity. Third, genes and culture influence each other. Cultural practices drive genetic evolution. Lactose tolerance, cooking, agriculture, these are all examples of gene-culture coevolution. We are products of this interaction. These insights transform the foundation of human understanding. We are not mere vehicles for genes. We are beings who create culture and are shaped by culture. And that culture even changes our genes. This understanding moves me profoundly. We stand upon the accumulated knowledge of thousands of generations, the discoveries, inventions, and wisdom of our ancestors. All of it makes our present existence possible. And simultaneously, we are now building the foundation for future generations. What we learn, create, and transmit today becomes their starting point. This is an endless chain. The human story cannot be told through genes alone. Only by understanding culture, the other engine of evolution, can we understand what it means to be human. So I ask you this. If we are cultural beings, don't we have a responsibility to choose the culture of the future? And what kind of culture should we pass to the next generation? Now, with AI, a new form of intelligence, cultural evolution is accelerating into unknown territory. There are no simple answers to these questions, but continuing to ask drives us forward. Culture is precisely this continuous questioning. After you finish this video, when you return to daily life, I want you to be aware, just for a moment. The words, tools, and ideas you use today, all of them were learned from someone, and you, in turn, are transmitting something to someone else. You are a transmitter of culture. The next time you teach someone something, remember this. You are now part of a chain of knowledge that has continued for thousands of years. What you transmit shapes the future. Share your insights in the comments. Your questions become the force that drives this channel forward. Thank you for joining me on this intellectual journey to the very end. On this channel, we continue exploring culture, consciousness, and the nature of the cosmos. If you're seeking new perspectives on the world, this channel is for you. Subscribe and join us on the next exploration. Let's keep questioning together. Until next time.